Hey there, yogis. Today I am bringing you a little flow that can be turned up if you want to take it a little bit more intense, or turned down if you're feeling a little more mellow, or if you're a beginner. So don't feel like you need to know yoga to try this one. Just keep doing it and you will eventually get it. Alright, so we are going to start today in goddess pose. So we're going to take a step out nice and wide. Your knees you want them to track with your toes. So make sure your toes are turned out so that when you bend down, those knees are going straight out, okay? Straight out over the toes. We want to tuck that tailbone down and we're going straight down. So when we inhale, we'll take it up on an inhale. Exhale, pull the arms behind the back. Connect the breath with the movement. Maybe start that Ujjayi breath. Pull down, really engage the arms. Start to engage the core as well as you pull the navel to the spine. This is the last one and we're going to hold it down here. So hold, reach up, sit down nice and deep, tuck that tailbone. Drop your right forearm to your left, up to your right thigh. Inhale, take that left arm over. Keep turning that top shoulder open, so we're opening the chest towards the sky. And inhale back up to the center, straighten. Exhale, come back down. And drop that left arm, bring the right over. So the tendency is to start to pull up this way. Make sure you stay in that squat. Turn that top shoulder up. Steady breath. Inhale, back up, straighten the legs. And as we exhale, we're going to turn the toes forward and bend the knees and dive forward, but do this nice and gentle since the hamstrings are still warming up. Inhale, roll the back up, chin to your chest, take your time. And let's take that roll down. Again, watch those knees. Roll it up. And last time, and this time we're just going to let the arms hang. Drop it down. Start to shake that head yes and no. And then just start to bend into one knee and then the other. You might want to take a step out a little further, maybe start to point the toes out. Warming up the inner thighs here. Watching always to protect that knee and not let it go over your toes. If you feel like you could take this deeper, then we want to step those feet out a bit more, okay? Good. So we're going to take this into a side angle. Staying over onto that right side when you get a chance. Now, turn the left toes in slightly and the right toes are going to be facing straight towards me. Sit the hips back. Bring that forearm onto the thigh. Inhale, come up and over. Good. Roll down through the center. Turn the right toes in, the left toes out. Come up onto the left side. Parsva Konasana. Kona is angle, Pars is side, or half angle. Back to the center again, both toes turn forward, fold down again. Inhale, roll it all the way up, slight bend in those knees. And then we can either step or jump the feet together. So from here, let's take a little modified sun salute. We'll take an inhale up. Exhale, dive forward. Inhale, come up to a flat back. Exhale, we're going to sit the hips back, coming into chair pose. Reach it up, tuck that tailbone down, just like we did last time. So from here, we're going to take the hands into prayer pose, or Anjali Mudra, and we're going to take a bit of a twist. So we're warming up into our twist still, so we're going to take this a little more gentle to begin with. Keep the knees in line. So tendency is for the hips to turn here and the knees to go out of line. Keep the knees right next to one another. take that left elbow to the outside of that right knee here. If it doesn't get there yet, that's fine. It will get there with time. Inhale back up to the center, reach, and dive forward. Inhale, flat back. Exhale, sit the hips. Come back into Utkatasana, chair pose. Hands in front of the heart. And let's take the twist to the other side. Right elbow, maybe coming to the outside of that leg, maybe not yet. And what we do is when that elbow is there, we're using that as a pivot point to push ourselves around. So pull the belly in, make more room, and come into that twist. Inhale back up to the center, reach, and fold again all the way down. Inhale to a flat back, and exhale to fold one more time. So the legs are getting nice and warm. And if you're at the top of your mat, great. If not, just make your way there. I'm just going to move myself there. From here, we're going to step back with our left leg. Nice long reaching step, and come down into a lunge. So we always want to make sure that our knee does not go over our toe. You want it right above your ankle for right here. And we're just going to inhale to straighten and come down. So we're just warming up the hip, front of that thigh to the hip flexor and the psoas. And each time we're going to try to straighten the leg, front leg a little bit more, and maybe push that back heel down a little bit deeper. We can start to add a little more of the upper body here. As we come forward, start to bring the chest open and reach the chin up. So it's a little bit of a cat-cow movement. Let's hold it back. And in yoga, we always like to get long first and then fold. Maybe step that back foot up a bit, get that heel down a little more, and square the hips. So we want to pull that left hip forward, right hip back, as if the inner thighs are coming closer together. So I'm going to show it from this side, and maybe I'll turn so you guys can see it, but we're going to take a little bit of a revolved triangle, or Parivrtta Trikonasana. The left hand is going to ground down, so our right foot is forward, and then we're going to reach the right hand up. So let me turn that around for you. So you can see the right foot's forward, square those hips off, ground. Now maybe the hand doesn't come all the way down. We can also use a block here, a little stool, or we could be on our fingertips and reach up that right hand. When you become a little more advanced, you can bring the hand to the outside of the foot. But since we're not quite that warm, I'm just going to keep it here for now. Good. Bring that hand back down. Step that back foot back again, and let's come into that low lunge. Get strong through the legs. Straighten that back knee. So push the back heel down, and then inhale, reach it up. Anjaneyasana. So shoulders down away from the ears, reach through the fingertips. Good. Spin this open to a warrior two. So the back heel is going to spin down, reaching out with those arms. So let me turn this around. I need cameras at all angles. I feel like I'm doing circles right now. So let's talk about our warrior two, Virabhadrasana 2 for a second. You want your ribs to be right above your hips. A lot of people tend to lean forward in this pose, right here, or maybe back a little bit. We want to be right above our hips. Bend into that front knee. The back foot has a slight angle in. We're pushing on the outside edge of that foot. Make sure the front toes can lift up and spread them back out. Turn the front palm up and reverse. Nice inhale here. And exhale. Let's come into that Parsva Konasana again, side angle. So the forearm goes onto that thigh. Sometimes the hips tend to be up here. We want to drop the hips down. So we're at this angle. From our fingertips all the way up here, all the way down to the outside edge of that foot. So another tendency that seems to happen here is to fall into that shoulder. We want to push the arm into the leg, nice and strong, nice and active. Good. Take that one more reverse here. And exhale, cartwheel the hands all the way down, step it back. Let's do our first vinyasa. So vinyasa is just a catch-all for a couple different moves. Chaturanga, which is lowering down here, elbows nice and tight. Then come through an up dog. And exhale back through a down dog. So a lot of people in down dog like to step their feet way up so that their heels can get down. Don't worry about your heels touching. Keep your legs right where they were when you were in your plank. Maybe a tiny step up, and just let the heels be where they are. Shoulders down away from the ears. Widen that upper back. Good. So the head should just be released. Take one more inhale and exhale here. And then your next inhale, take a look up between your hands. Step or jump. Flat back and fold. Inhale all the way up. Always protect those knees. Exhale the hands in front of the heart. So just take a moment here to come back to your breath if you've lost it. In and out through your nose. And let's start that all on the other side. So inhale, reach the arms up. Exhale, dive forward. Flat back on the inhale. Exhale, this time it's that right leg stepping back. Long step back, control, bring it down. Good, so watch the knee. Take a nice long lunge. Play around with the distance between your 2 feet. Let that hip drop. Take an inhale while we're here. Start to engage that chest. And exhale, straighten, push back. So we're playing around again with the lunge and the wide Parsvottanasana. So your body should be nice and warm at this point. We can start to take things a little bit deeper, but we never want to push too far or not far enough. We want to find that happy place, and it's called between sthira and sukha. So sthira is effort, and sukha is release. Next time we're back, we'll hold it back. So I like to step my foot up just a bit so I can get that heel down, square the hips. So this time it's that left hip pulling back, right hip pulls forward. Take an inhale to get that back flat. Look out over the toes and fold in. So back to that sthira and sukha. That means that you don't want to push so far that you're so much in the effort region. You're going to lose the breath. You're going to lose the relaxation of it. And you don't want to be too much in the sukha, which is going to be too much of a lazy, for lack of a better word, pose. So find just where your edge is. Okay, come back into that lunge. Find a nice deep lunge. We're going to take this into our Parsvottanasana again. So turn that back heel down and windmill the arms up. Excuse me, our Virabhadrasana, our warrior two. So let me turn this around. Left foot is forward, forgetting what side I'm on. So we reach those arms out, fingertip to fingertip, tuck the tailbone under, shoulders down from the ears, bend down. So you can take this not so deep, or you can take this very deep. Just if you're going deep, watch the knee over the toe. Turn that front palm up, sweep it back. Inhale, reach it up, come through into Parsvakonasana. So forearm onto that thigh right there, dropping that hip down, and reach that right arm. So the right arm goes right alongside the ear, and the palm actually turns towards the face, towards the back. Oh, I know what we forgot. We forgot the revolved triangle. Excuse me. We'll have to go back to that. I knew there was something I was missing. Don't want to be uneven. You're walking around in a circle. So just come back up to that warrior two for 1 second. We'll turn that back heel in just a bit, square back off to the side. So our left foot is forward, that right hip is pulling forward, left is pulling back. Inhale the right arm up, and as we exhale, reach out, drop that hand down. So again, your hand may just be on a block or on fingertips, or maybe you're coming all the way down. If you've done this before, maybe you want to take it to the outside of that left foot. And then it's the right arm this time that's reaching up. Let me turn this around this way. Parivrtta Trikonasana. So you're using that hand on the ground, no matter if it's on the inside or outside of that foot, to push and rotate the chest open. But use the breath to help you with that rotation. So take an inhale to get length, exhale to release and twist. Good, so bring that back down since we did our warrior already. Let's just step that foot back into a lunge. And then all the way back into the top of our plank, lowering down through vinyasa. So remember, we do chaturanga, which is basically a tricep push-up. Come a little further forward, elbows go right alongside the rib cage, roll over the toes, push back, down dog. So while we're hanging out here in down dog, let's bend one knee and push the other heel down. Just alternating this, getting a nice stretch through the calf. I also like to roll over my toes a bit, just waking everything up. And you know, your yoga practice is so personal that it's whatever feels good for you right now. Maybe it feels good to just push into that down dog and hold. Maybe it feels good to twist your hips from side to side. Okay, so your next inhale, you're going to take that right leg up, but you're going to take it up without letting the hip roll open. So I'm going to show this the other way so you guys can see. Actually, no, I will show it to you backwards. Don't mind my butt in the camera. You want to lift the foot up straight up, not to let that hip roll open here. So take the hip down so that the toes are facing the ground, okay? So when you look back through your legs, you see your toes pointing down. Got me? Lift up. And then on an exhale, bring that knee into the chest. Pull it in. So we're coming forward onto the hands. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, come forward. Pull the knee up. Pull everything up. Good. Let's do one more. Pull that knee in. And then step the foot between the hands. Drop down again. Come up, Anjaneyasana. Spin it open, Virabhadrasana. Inhale to reverse. Exhale, Parsvakonasana. So let me turn this around. You guys hold your Parsvakonasana. And if you're a little more advanced in your yoga practice, you can maybe take this down to the outside of that foot. Top shoulder rolls open. One other option is the bind. So for the bind, you're going to take the hand on the inside, get that shoulder right on the inside of that knee, take the right arm, internally rotate it, and we bind the hands behind. Now I have to turn around again. This is why I need a mirror behind me. Okay, so everybody's holding there. We reach back and maybe we grab a hand or a wrist and release. Sweep everything back, cartwheel the hands down, step it back and take it through that vinyasa again. So down dog should be a little bit of a resting pose. Sometimes it doesn't feel that way, especially when you're beginning. Come back to your breath. And on your next inhale, we'll take that left foot up, toes down again. Bring it forward, pull it in. Let's make this one our last one. Pull that knee in, concave the belly around it, and then step that foot down through your low lunge. Spin that back heel down, windmill the arms up to our warrior two. Just for a moment here. Drop that back hand, reach it up. And then we're coming into our Parsva Konasana again. So you have 3 options here that were nice and warm. We can stay right here. This is a lot of work just to be here. We can drop the hand. I like to drop it on the outside so it keeps my top shoulder rolling back. Or come in for the bind. Steady that breath. That will help you stay present in your pose. Then release, sweep that arm up and back, and cartwheel the hands down to step it back through your vinyasa. Pushing back into your down dog. So another way to play around in down dog, because a lot of the times you rest here for about 5 breaths, is to bend the knees deeply. Shins parallel to the floor, and then push through the hands. Nice stretch to that upper back. And then push the heels down to release. So this time, let's take that leg up with the hip opening up. So right leg reaches up, let that hip roll open, and then let the knee bend and foot drop down. Let's start to open up the hips. So start to make nice circles with that knee. And then the other way. Reach the knee up. And then step that foot in between the hands. If that foot doesn't come all the way up between your hands, maybe it stops here, just take that same hand and help it up. Little by little, you'll have more muscle control over those movements. So we're going to step that back foot up just a bit. And the toes are going to point at about a 30-degree angle. Bend into that front knee and reach up. So we are in our Virabhadrasana 1, or Warrior 1. So I'm going to turn this forward to show you guys the alignment here. So your feet are hips distance apart, right toes are forward, left toes again are about 30 degrees. Bend into the front leg and the hips stay square. So they're not open here like they are in Warrior 2. We want to pull the left hip forward, bend into that right knee. Reach the hands up. Good. So interlace the fingers behind the back. We're going to take an inhale, reach the hands down the back, open that chest. Good. As we exhale, we're going to come into folded warrior. So the right shoulder is going to come on the inside of that right leg. So I'll turn forward again. In our open chest, little turn to the left, drop that shoulder on the inside, and then the interlaced fingers come up and off of the back. Let the head drop, just release. Come back to the breath. Good. So I want you to just release the hands and then bring them on the inside of that foot. We might need to heel toe the foot over just a bit and step that back foot back. So we're coming back into a lunge. Let the hips come down. So this is lizard pose. Drop that down. So we can stay here with the knee up, or if our leg is getting tired, we can drop that back knee. So staying here is perfectly cool. One thing I want you to watch is that knee. A lot of times it starts to open up. I want you to try to keep that knee as tight to that right tricep as you can. And then maybe depending on the your hip flexibility, you can come down onto forearms. If you're not here yet, a block can help. So if you're in between here and all the way down, a block, a couple books, whatever you have available. Small child, if they'll stay still enough. So just come on down to wherever you feel good. And again, that knee's going to want to fall out. You want to pull it in. Keep it nice and active. Okay, so bring yourself back up onto your hands, and we're going to take that foot out a couple steps to the right. We're going to have to, actually we can leave the knee on the floor if you like, make it a little bit easier, or we can bring that leg back up off the ground. So we're going to take our right hand and put our thumb and fingers like this and come right over the ankle. So we're basically grabbing onto our ankle. Take that right hand out just a bit. We're going to do a couple of lizard push-ups. So we'll take it down and up. That's 2. Let's go to 10. 3. Back leg is nice and strong. 2 more. Good. Drop that back knee. Bring the hands back down. Walk the foot in just a bit and then turn the toes out. So let's do that stretch that we did the other day. You can roll to the outside edge of your foot and let that right knee fall out. So we can begin to add a little bit of a twist. Let that left hip fall in and just come back to the breath. I don't know about you, but I am sweating. My air is not working in my house. So bring that knee back in. So while we're here, can't help but want to play around with a little bit of an arm balance here. So I'm going to start to show you from the front, and then I'm going to move sideways to show it to you. You would really need to see all angles of this, but it's just for fun. If you don't get it, even if you don't want to try it, that's fine. You're getting a benefit just by trying it. You're getting a benefit just by staying here in this pose, and you're getting a benefit just by watching and exploring the possibility of trying it. So get nice and deep with that hip. We want to try to get our right shoulder underneath our right leg. So we dive under here, okay, and then plant the hand on the outside. Back knee comes up, and we want to work on lifting that right foot up. And then we bend into our arms, okay? So, I'm trying to think what angle would be good here for you. Let's try it this way. So this is Ekapada Kundanyasana, 1 foot flying lizard. Bring that arm under. Let the hip drop a little bit. Lift the right leg up. We lean onto that left arm and maybe float that foot up for a second, and then swing the leg back. Let's drop the knees and take this through Ashtangasana. Knees, chest, chin. So knees, chest, chin, come forward into a baby cobra, and then let's just release to the ground, 1 cheek down, and take a little breather. So start to push back, and let's take this into a child's pose to stretch out the upper body a bit. Sit back onto the heels, reach the hands out, and release. So on your next inhale, we'll come back up, tuck the toes, push up into our down dog. So now we have to do everything on the other side now. So we will settle in, make sure the shoulders are plugged back
and down. And then we'll inhale and we'll take that left leg up. So that right heel might be able to come all the way down to the ground, and we're a little bit of a twist underneath that left arm. Bend the left knee, and we'll start our circles on this side. Remember, we want to make nice big circles. I always have people that make these tiny circles. You want to find the full range of motion in that hip. Good, so inhale that leg back up and step it through. Coming down into our low lunge. So remember, from here we took it into our warrior one. So that foot steps up a little bit. Bend into the front knee. Reach the arms up and square those hips. So I will turn forward again here. Square hips. Bend into that front leg. Reach the arms up, but don't let the shoulders come up. Take those down. Maybe your arms don't come together without the shoulders going up. It's fine to be here. You can even take this into cactus arms. And then let's take the hands behind the back, interlace the opposite way, so it's going to feel weird putting the other finger on top. Inhale, open the chest. Drop that head back for a moment. And then turn to the right a bit and come on down on the inside of that right knee. So once you find that shoulder on the inside, try to pull that right hip back forward a bit to square yourself off to the front. It's going to feel strange and it's going to mess with your balance a bit. But little by little, try it out. And then release the hands, and we're coming down into lizard. So walk that foot out, bring the hands on the inside. Maybe just hang with the leg straight just for a moment, just to feel that weight pulling down, and then drop the knee down. The knee up is going to be more of a muscular, strength building move, but I like when I drop the knee, I feel there is more of a stretch out of the pose. So play around with it. You know, some days you might feel, like I was saying in the beginning, like you want more of a strength workout. Other days you want more of the flexibility routine. So wherever you took the other side, try to do that on this side. And you're always going to find that one side is more open than the other, one side is stronger than the other, and we just work to balance those out. So moving forward and back, side to side is all good, whatever feels good. And use that breath to breathe into where you feel that stretch happening. So when you're ready, come on back up onto your palms, walk that foot out. We're going into our lizard push-up, 10, right? We do on the other side? So take that hand, we're basically making a triangle or downward V with that left hand. The right hand is going to go out to the right, and we need to come up off of that back knee. So nice and wide, come down for 1. 2, that left elbow is coming right in front of the shin, okay? Halfway there. And 10. Oof, drop that knee. Remember, we're going to walk the foot in just a little bit, take the toes out, and then maybe let that foot even roll onto the outside edge. And then just letting that leg fall out to the side, maybe taking a bit of a twist in the torso is good. And then bring it back. So we are going to get ready to try that flying lizard. Now, I don't know about you, but my arms are pretty tired, so I don't think my lizard is going to fly today. But keep trying. One thing that also helps, there are such things as, they're called bandhas in yoga, and they are locks within your body. So Our cable muscles, which all of us women know well, when we pull up and lock that, that's called the Mula Bandha. And then our belly, we pull in by our navel, that's our Uddiyana Bandha. And we use that in a lot of our core exercises, stability balancing exercises. And then we have our Jalandhara Bandha, which is in our throat, and we use that for inversions. So let's try our Ekapada Kundanyasana. So it's the left arm this time that wants to creep under this leg, ground down, lift up, foot goes up, and we're bending the right arm and we're actually leaning onto that arm. And then maybe if we engage that Mula Bandha, woo, we can get that leg to rise. Not today for me. So when you get there, come all the way back into your plank, lower down through your vinyasa, and then let's drop it down into child's pose. If you're still trying out that flying lizard, feel free. But if you're like me and it's the end of the week and it's your rest day, you should be resting, maybe just sit back in child's pose. One time is enough. So that goes for anything that we're doing throughout the practice. If at any point you want to stop and take a break, or if you want to stop and try something out a bit more before going forward, just hit the pause button. Come on back. All right, good. So let's do one standing pose, and then we'll bring it down for some seated stretches, and then the awesome Shavasana. So just curl your toes under, let those heels sit back, and just give me a nice forward fold. Maybe hold opposite elbows and just swing from side to side. Find that nice deep stretch. We're really warm now. We can take it a little bit deeper. And then release the elbows if you have them. And let's roll up, articulating each vertebrae all the way up. Okay, so let's try one of my favorite standing poses, which is, and I'm going to forget the Sanskrit name, Uttita Hasta Padangusthasana. I know some of you will say, you could lie to us, we wouldn't know the difference, but I feel I have to stay true to the Sanskrit. Etka is one, Pada is foot, Hasta is hand, and Uttita is extended. So I'm going to show you it the way I like to get into it, and then I'll give you options as we get there. So I actually like to enter it from a forward fold. So we take Yogi toe hold, which is the first two fingers and the thumb, and we wrap that around our big toe. Now I'll tell you, as somebody that was phobic about pulling my toe out of its socket, it doesn't happen. But if it feels weird, you can just grab onto the foot for now. But I promise you, I've been doing it for a long time and it hasn't happened yet. So if we were to do it from a forward fold, we would grab onto that right toe, left hand would go to the left hip. Really ground through that left foot, spread the toes out. And on an inhale with a bent knee, bring that leg up. Now maybe it's not straight, maybe it's bent like this. Our other options are to be right here with our knee. So everybody that came up with me, stay right where you are. If you're still standing, maybe you want to try just from the knee. If you have a strap, you're not ready to hold the foot, a strap, and then slowly you can extend from there, okay? So we are here, we want to stand up straight. And then let's float that leg out to the side. Woo, get your balance. Let the shoulders release. Try to relax the face. Come back to the center. And from here, let's take this right into Warrior 3. So let the leg go. Try to keep the foot lifted. And then we're going to hinge at the hips and send that leg straight back. I do not have my balance today. Straight back here. And reach the arms either forward. They can be behind, to the side, on your hips. Whatever feels good. And then just because we're here, why not take this into a standing split? Drop the hands, lift that back foot up. Now the toes should stay down, just like they were in Warrior 3, so we're probably not going to get them that high, which is a shame because if we roll the hip open, it can lift higher, but that's actually cheating, so we want to roll that hip down, keep the toes down. And then just bring that right foot down to meet the left. And just recover here in a forward fold. Come back to the breath. So if you took your Padangusthasana from the floor here, we could do that for the other side. If not, just come up to stand and you'll meet us there. So take the left toe in yogi toe hold, right hand on your hip, slight bend in that knee, use the inhale to lift you up. Once you get there, find that straight back, even if it means bending the knee. More important to be straight. So I don't want you, I'll show you an example of what not to do. Straight leg and being bent over like this. You want to be able to stand up straight, worry about straightening that leg afterwards, okay? See if I can turn around. This will help you shave your legs in the shower right here. Okay, we take it out to the side. Try to keep the hips square. Come back to the center. Release the foot and lift. Oh, I hate lifting up. Right through that quad. And then swing it back. Warrior 3. Oh, too close to the wall. Just hit the wall. Good. So however you want to keep those hands, I'm feeling back. And feel that line of energy. So if you have your hands straight back, your line of energy is right through the crown of your head, back through that back foot. If your hands were forward, that line of energy is through those fingertips. Okay, so let me turn to the side, just to make sure you see where that hip is. Hip is down, not open. And then drop the hand standing split. So the foot really doesn't get very high. So this pose has a lot going on. We're lifting that back leg, right? We're folding into the standing leg. We're also trying not to roll forward, right? And then bring that left foot down to meet the right. One more time through our forward fold. And then just bend the knees. Sit all the way back. And join me in Baddha Konasana. So, bringing our soles of our feet together. Remember this from when we were little and we used to do this, right? Butterfly pose. So take the feet and open them up as if they were a book. So open up, so we're looking at the soles of our feet. And find your sit bones. So for a while I didn't know what that meant, but we have all this lovely padding back here. And we also have a pelvis that tilts. So if we are tilted under, it's going to restrict the movement forward. But if we tilt it back and out, we're actually already kind of moving forward. So that's going to help us. So as we take our inhale and we sit up nice and tall, bring the elbows out and pull yourself forward and then down. A lot of people tend to just do this right away. You want to look where you want to go, which is out and forward, and then come down. So you can leave the hands on the arms in a couple different places. You can leave them on your shins and help to pull yourself forward, or you can push down on those inner thighs and try to open up a bit more. And then just release. So we have to get a little bit of core work in, although we did a little bit with our leg extended and into our chest. But let's bring it down for a little kind of yoga bicycle. So roll down onto the back. And what we'll do here is take the left leg out and the right knee in. And we'll turn to the side, and then we'll bring both legs up, lift, and then take the left knee forward. Up, lift. So if this is too much, you can always just keep it down and just do the legs. Okay, so this would be just our legs here. Let me slow down a little bit. I'm getting a little, I'm bicycling up a hill. I'm trying to go a little quicker. Or we add that upper body in. Inhale as you lift, exhale as you twist. Let's do one more either side. And then bring both knees into your chest. Let's take a nice inhale in. Exhale through your mouth. So we've built up some nice heat. Start to make circles with your knees. Really massage out that lower back. And reverse that circle. So let's do that breath one more time. Inhale nice and deep. And as you exhale, open your mouth. So we breathe through our nose in yoga to keep the heat. One of the reasons is to keep the heat within the body. Let's take this into a happy baby. To keep the muscles nice and warm. But now that we're at the end of our practice, let's release that heat. Bring more of a cool and calming breath in. Bring the legs back together. And then releasing one to the floor. And then the other. We'll enter into Shavasana. So Shavasana is said to be the most important and the hardest pose in yoga. Now you might think that funny when we just did Flying Lizard. But it is hard because it's hard to keep the mind steady, relaxed. It's hard to keep thoughts from flying in. So I like to stay focused on either a mantra, saying something over and over again, maybe the sound of Om, or another kind of yogic saying, or anything really for that matter. It could be lyrics to a song. Or staying focused on your breath. But more important than that is if thoughts do come, and if you find yourself thinking throughout the entire Shavasana, don't beat yourself up for it. Don't worry about that. That's just building on more negative. So just release it and say, I will try next time. Okay? So let your feet fall out to the side. Take your shoulders down away from your ears. Take your palms faced up, arms slightly away from the body. And release your breath. Let it just come back to its natural rhythm. Like I said, maybe staying focused on it. And I will leave you here in Shavasana for as long as you like. Take your time. At the end of practice today, I want to thank you for coming. Thank you for taking part. And I wish you nothing but light and love. Namaste.